The ability to specify and schedule architectural hardware is a central feature of the AVAproject detailing and estimating system. AVAproject innovative hardware groups are able to offer unmatched convenience to specification writers while providing boundless versatility to estimators that need to replicate existing schedules. AVAproject was designed to accommodate the workflow of the individual. At their most basic level, hardware groups can be used corresponding with the hardware sets or headings that appear on a typical architectural hardware schedule, but they can also be so much more than that. By convention, dissimilar openings are listed on separate headings in the hardware schedule. This necessitates the creation of individual headings for different opening configurations. This could also require headings to be split when opening configurations change later in the design process. AVAproject provides a powerful alternative to this tedious manual process, the hardware groups. Like sets or headings, hardware groups are associated with specific openings and contain lists of hardware products to be installed on them. The difference being, the openings do not need to be identical. In fact, it can be entirely different in their configurations. Specification writers are able to save countless hours in the creation of hardware schedules, and need not concern themselves with separating opening groups into individual headings. AVAproject takes care of the task automatically. Hardware quantities in the groups are listed based on the door application. There are separate quantity columns provided for active lease, inactive lease, and off-door mounting. Products such as hinges or closers would commonly appear on both leaves, while pair-specific items such as flush bolts would appear only on the inactive leaf. This means that both single and paired openings can be assigned to a single hardware group. In the case of these suite entry doors, a single hardware group lists the hardware required for both single and pair applications. When the hardware schedule and material list are created by AVAproject, only the hardware assignments applicable to each are added. The single hardware group is also separated into two hardware headings automatically. Even opening specific items such as handing need not be considered when creating hardware groups. In the hardware groups, hardware products are listed with parameters such as handing and opening widths shown as variables to be filled in later. When the hardware schedule is created by AVAproject, these variables are populated based on the specifics of the openings assigned to the group. The products are then listed and organized accordingly. While this may be well and good for single and paired openings, it's not uncommon to see openings that are far more complicated. Multi-opening elevations consist of banks of separate single or pair doors in a single elevation. These are most commonly seen in entranceways, and separating sections of larger facilities such as arenas, exhibit halls, and ballrooms. Each individual sub-opening is treated as its own opening with its own handing and active or inactive leaves. AVAproject assigns hardware to each opening individually based on the quantities specified in the hardware group. In this example, the exit device with outside poles, closers, and hinges are assigned to active and inactive leaves of each opening. In some applications, however, it may be necessary to specify different hardware for certain sub-openings or specific door leaves. In an entranceway, for example, one opening alone might require key trim for access. To allow for this level of specification, the hardware groups offer an additional column, sub-opening number. This column allows hardware items to be assigned to specific sub-openings only, rather than to all of them. AVAproject automatically numbers sub-openings from left to right, beginning with 1 and counting upwards. In this example, the first opening on the left would be sub-opening 1, with the last being sub-opening 4. The two pairs in between would be sub-openings 2 and 3 respectively. If, for example, key trim was required for sub-opening 1, an additional exit device with key trim would need to be added to the hardware group. Once added, placing the number 1 in the sub-opening number column indicates the exit device specified in that line should only apply to that sub-opening. Additional sub-opening assignments can be added simply by separating their number designations with commas. To add the same exit device hardware to the rightmost leaf, simply add comma 4 to the sub-opening number column. The piece of hardware that was previously assigned to all the openings is now assigned to the remaining openings only, 2 and 3. This variation in hardware assignment is also reflected on the hardware schedule and on the material list. When door machining sheets are generated, a separate sheet is produced for each sub-opening, showing their specific hardware assignments.